So we have action. We are live. So welcome to today. We are coming in from the lake today. We're out here at the lake, and welcome to my page today. I am streaming in two places, and there's a link up above called StreamYard. You just have to give it permission if you've never been to my page before, and then you can actually jump in on the chat here with me today. I am welcoming a very special guest, and I feel very privileged to have him here today. So. My page is here. I help others reach their health and fitness goals through coaching, mentorship, and accountability. So for no further ado, we will bring up my guest, very special guest here. Hello, Brandon. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I feel like I'm interviewing the President of the United States or the Queen of England or something like that, that you're so special and have actually given me the opportunity to speak with you today and share some of your thoughts. So if you could just give a little bit of a backstory to some of our viewers about your journey through the entrepreneurial world, I'd appreciate it, and then we can take it from there.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for the kind words. I really appreciate it. Yeah, entrepreneurship was really difficult for me when I made the transition. I literally, when I came back from playing football, I decided I wanted to be an entrepreneur, and I started a home security business, and didn't have any capital, didn't know where to start, where to go. I had to get my license here in the state of Texas, and I started building a sales team, had over 30 employees working for me, and started making really good money during that process. But there was a lot of struggles that I had to go through during that process, a lot of personal development, a lot of learning curves and everything else. And not only that, battling on the backside of things, I was being a single father at the time. I was fighting for my marriage. My wife at the time was having postpartum depression, anxiety. She was going through a lot of things. And so I was raising my oldest by myself. And then we ended up having my son, and chain events happened where I became a single father. And I was taking my kids to my office with me. I was taking my kids to babysitters, pawning them off mom and dad. It was a really crazy times that we were going through just because of the fact that that I was not accustomed to being a single parent. And I didn't know what to do. I was stressed. I had anxiety. I had tons of things that were happening in my life that was unexpectedly occurring. And I really didn't know what to do. And, thank goodness I had the right mentorship and leadership in my life. And I was able to scale and do really well in the e-commerce side of things, where I ventured off into another career path with the e-commerce platforms. And I was able to do over 280 million in sales in 3 years.
Wow.
Made a little bit of money, and it was great, and I received a phone call from a good friend of mine, Mr. Jake Spencer. Wanted to try to check out what he was doing, and I decided to go a different path, and a lot of things that he was doing just made sense. And you can make sense usually makes dollars, and I decided to change my career again, and now I'm making things happen. So it's really exciting times.
Wow. So what made you decide to take a jump to a different company after you had built up a really good residual income where you were at?
That's a really great question. And a lot of people think I'm still crazy to this day because of that. Because we really stepped away from a $300,000 monthly income. And the reason why is because at the end of the day, you can't put a price tag on happiness. We weren't happy in the situation we were in. There was things that were happening inside of the company that we couldn't align ourselves with integrity wise. Some of the changes, some of the things that were happening behind the scenes with the products and things like that. We just at the end of the day, we've stacked enough cash back. We wanted to focus on traditional business, and then we received a phone call from Mr. Jake Spencer, one of our good friends. We were like, okay, we should take a look at this. We should really dive into this, and we decided to do that.
It was a better fit for you all around then.
Absolutely.
With the way the company is aligned, you betcha. So how have you dealt with the rejection in this industry? Because there is a lot of it that goes on. How have you dealt with that over the years?
Yeah, well, I mean, having a strong mental state and bulletproof mindset is really key into this industry. At the end of the day, if you want to make everybody happy, go sell ice cream. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what you do, if you do something different than anybody else, you're going to have critics. You're going to have people that tell you you're crazy, or you're going to have rejection. And, growing up, my mom and dad told me no all the time. So like, I got accustomed to it. Like, if somebody says, no, it's not for me, that's okay. Just because you don't choose my path doesn't mean you're lost. There's so many ways to make money out there. And there's so many people that can win in so many different ways. I'm excited. I'm happy for them. As long as they're happy, because my biggest thing where I came to this industry with the e-commerce platform is that if something happens to me, what happens to my income? It's gone. So I wanted to find a way to make money with me or without me. And this is the most lucrative I could find, something with low risk with big return instead of big risk with little return. Okay. That's what attracted me to it, because it gives the opportunity to an average person to scale and succeed in this type of industry itself, where a lot of people don't have money to invest in traditional business. I think in North America alone, I think I saw a study done. I think the average person doesn't even have over $400 into their bank account for savings for emergency funds. Yeah. And so when I saw that, I was just like blown away. And I was like, there's people that need this. I feel obligated. I feel selfish if I don't. And I always try to tell people, if you don't see a fit for you, that's okay. But does that mean that you have something better? Don't be selfish. Share it with me, because at the end of the day, I'm a businessman. As long as my money's making money for me and me not working for it, I'm open to listen, because I'm all about multiple streams of income coming in. And that's what I loved about this, is because I don't have the headaches, the overhead, the inventory, the payroll issues, the logistics. I don't have to have attorneys on retainer like I do with my traditional businesses that I have. Me and my wife talk about it all the time. Some of the things that we go through in traditional business, and we're like, why do we deal with it? Like, why are we still going through that? Like, we should probably just sell it and just focus primarily on this. And so that's why we're super excited.
Nice. What makes the method that you use so simple and duplicatable that you have been able to achieve such great success? Because for those of you that don't know, Bradon is one of the top income earners in our e-commerce business that I'm with. So like I said, I'm very value his time that he's spending with us today. And we have a whole bunch of people here watching, Janet and Susan and Shauna. And yeah, so many people here watching, and have a whole bunch of questions that we can get into at the end here. But so what makes it so duplicatable?
That's a really great question. I think some people overthink this industry way too much. And what's so easy to do is also easy not to do. The more you complicate it, the more that's not duplicatable. So how can you make this more streamlined? Well, for the last 2 years, I've been beta testing, because the last 5 years, the same thing is not working what it's working now. Things have changed. Things revolve every 5 years. And so you got to adapt to the change. And so the biggest thing is not spamming people a long script. And a lot of people like to build reports. I like to get straight to the point and build the report later if it's not an opportunity for them, because then I know I got the no out of the way. So my biggest thing is creating scripts that it's almost exactly what they're going to say in response. So for instance, Heather, if I say, hey, Rockstar, how are you? Or hey, Heather, how are you doing? As a friend and a colleague, what are you going to respond back to me as?
Oh, I'm doing okay, or I'm fine, right?
Absolutely. And
that's short to the point.
Absolutely. And majority of the time, I'll say that's awesome. It's doing great. But hey, I don't know if you're open or not, but I've been working on something really big and I'd love to share it with you. What is your response then?
Well, I'd like to know more about it. Then you're keen. You got your ears are perked up, right? You want to find out what's going on.
99.9% of the time they say sure, yes, or what is it? And then I'm saying, when's a good time to chat? And they give me a time to chat or a time. And I get with, if I don't feel comfortable enough giving a presentation, I get with my business partner to be able to help me or guide me or direct me. Like, hey, I have a friend later on the scene that's willing to chat about the opportunity. What's a good time for you? And if they give me a time, like, all right, does this time work for you? And then I'll jump on and I actually just introduce. So for instance, say, hey, Heather, this is one of my business partners, Jake. He's going to cover all the logistics and overhead. He's very successful. He's built organizations and teams throughout the world. I have so much respect for him. Hey, Jake, this is Heather. We've been really good friends. We've known each other for over 10 years. Our kids go to school together and everything else. And so she's interested in hearing more about what we're doing. So I'll let you take it over. And I sit back and put my phone on mute or my computer on mute, and I'll let Jake go to bat for me. and then let them make a decision for themselves. I don't prejudge. I don't try to say, oh, that person won't be interested. No, I let them make that decision. And if they like it, great. If they don't, great. I'm not trying to hard close them. I'm just trying to provide an opportunity. If they like it, great. If they don't, great. I try to see if they will try to support me in this journey and try out some of the products. So I try to keep a system in place that's very duplicatable. I'm not trying to wow factor here, talk about showing cars, showing how much money you can make, or how this product's going to cure anything. No, it's just showing a simple plan, less than 10 minutes, and let them make a decisions. And that's duplicatable to me. When you start to go into science, when you start going in like in detail what I've succeeded or what I've accomplished, that's not duplicatable because my story is different.
Yeah.
So I try to keep a presentation, scripts that's generic that everybody can use, and that's more duplicatable. And that's the reason, one of the main reasons why I've been able to have success in my journey in this industry.
You don't approach people as a threatening entity saying, this is what you have to do. This is what you have to do. Do it my way or no way. Right.
I try to let people know you get in where you fit in. I really keep you in my business than push you out of my business. It's not a one-way street. Now, I will tell you that I have a formula that works, and you will be successful if you use this formula. Now, if you want to do your own thing, that's totally on you. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, I'll support you, but I don't know how to use your formula. I don't know your system, so I can't be much help to you, but I can cheer you on from the crowd and root you on as long as you're with me. But I know you'll have better results if you let me guide you the correct way, but that's on you. That's your choice. Because at the end of the day, what works, it might work for them. They might get the results that they're looking for, and I'd rather keep them in the business than push them out of the business. And I'm not trying to be a control person. I'm not trying to be a dictator. At the end of the day, I don't own anybody. But if they want to follow my system, they're more than welcome to. If they don't want to, they don't have to.
Yeah. So if somebody gives you a no right up front, would you follow up with them later down the line? Because a no doesn't mean no right forever. It needs no right now because their timing's not right. So how long do you usually wait to follow up somebody?
Well, the follow-up is not a follow-up. The follow-up is getting to know them, the kids, what they do for a living, commenting on posts, and just say, hey, I saw that you went to so-and-so, it looks so beautiful, I'm so jealous, or just following up, looks like you're crushing, and just keep that relationship. Prime example, there's a really good friend of mine, Frank and Marielle. We built a relationship over 2 years before we actually did business together, and so a lot of people would have gave up. A lot of people wouldn't know, but over that 2-year span, we stayed in connection with each other and communication with each other. And so your follow-up is not necessarily talking about business. It's talking about everyday situations too as well to keep that relationship. So when the time comes, if they know they're in a situation where they're more open, because a no right now doesn't mean a no later, like you said, maybe hey, remember that one thing you were telling me about? Can you tell me a little bit more about it now? Now they're more open. Maybe the situation changed a little bit. Yeah. Or they might ask you how that thing is going that you try to pitch them. Oh, it's going great. I made $5,000 last month, or I made $10,000. Or well, when I reached out to you, I was only making $2,000. Now I'm making $5,000. Simply doing this part time, and that might catch their attention because they're going to see it on your news feed. Because if you're communicating, you're liking each other's posts, automatically the algorithms and everything else will show up on their wall. And so by default, it's important to stay in contact with them, but just not necessarily mention business.
Sorry, go ahead.
But just not necessarily mention business every time.
Yeah. So if you're new to a business like model like this, and you don't have any thing to fall back on, how do you use somebody else's success when you're? Okay.
Absolutely. I always talk about the person that I'm working with, and that's just because people know who you are. But if I talk about Mr. Jake Spencer, one of my good friends, very, very successful in the industry, built teams globally throughout the world. He's like one of my role models. He's one of my mentors and coaches that's helped me and guide me mentally, physically, and spiritually as a person. I just got in good with him. So if you could just please show him the respect that everybody else does, because I don't want to ruin that reputation with him, especially since I'm giving him to get time off of his day to actually jump on a call with him because I know he's very, very busy. So what just happened right there? Now I'm shooting the edification up, so they're gonna have so much respect for him. But if I just say, hey, my good friend for over 10 years, Jake, he's cool, man. Like he's like us. He's gonna show everything to you, but man, he's chill. He's cool. You'll like him. You're gonna be like, hey, what's up, Jake? Or you're gonna be like, If I edify him the first way, you're gonna be like, "Hello, Mr. Spencer, how are you doing?" Your respect level is gonna be way more. And in business, you want to make sure that you're edifying people the correct way, because their attention they'll be more engaged and alert and listening if you edify them the correct way.
So it's kind of etiquette of being in this industry, of how you present people to other people in your industry, that kind of thing. So
Absolutely.
Yes, I'm really blessed that you have spent time out of your busy schedule to spend time with me and my followers here. So that is awesome. So I won't take up too much more of your time unless you have a little bit more to share with us. I know you have a bunch of stuff on your plate right now.
I have about 15 more minutes before my next appointment, so I do have a little bit of time. But going back to what I just finished just here a second ago about edification, but you should do that in your everyday life too as well. Like I edify my wife to other people, tell her how amazing she is. I do that with my parents. I do that with my kids. I do it with everything. The expectations are really high when you come to meet my wife. You're like, oh my gosh, you're the Miss Judy that Brennan's been bragging about. Yeah. How does that make my wife feel? How does that make
awesome? I'm sure. Yeah.
Exactly. So like even a good deed of opening a door or complimenting somebody, making somebody feel so good because of all the chaos that we're going on in the world right now. It just takes one good deed to make somebody smile and make a difference in their life. And what did you just do? You just passed it forward, and maybe they'll do the same.
Would you like to answer some questions from some of my audience here? See what they have. They're saying edifying is cool. Edifying is the correct way to go. Duplication. Not overthink things. Yes. Mindset is key to everything. Does anybody else have any questions here that they want to ask point blank to Brandon? It's awesome. Janet. I think you know Janet. Janet says, correct way to edify. Great point to remember. So that's good. So anybody else? Susan's not here. What is she? Great points, Brandon. Thank you. She's enjoying your content today. So that's awesome. Susan, Shauna saying hello. Awesome, Brandon. When you approach family and they are not interested, and then she left it blank, then maybe where do you take it from there if a family member is not interested?
That's a really good question. So are they not interested in the product, or are they not interested in the opportunity? So I'm gonna be. This might not be the answer you want to hear, but family is everything, and I support my family in anything. Like it doesn't matter, and my family knows that. It's hard for me to say no to anybody in my family when they ask me things, because it's family, and that's what we do. We support each other no matter what. So if my family's not interested in the opportunity, I respect that, but they better at least try my product, because it is 100% money back guarantee. So if they don't like it, they can send it back. That will not hurt my feelings, at least as long as they try it and they give it a chance. Now, if they're not willing to give it a chance or anything, then that's almost like no disrespect. That's almost like a slap in the face. Like that means you really don't care to support me, because why do we buy Girl Scout cookies? Not because they're the best Girl Scout cookies in the world.
No.
Okay? We support them because of the need and the cause of what they're trying to accomplish. Same thing with chocolate. People that raise money for schools. We don't buy the chocolate because it's the best chocolate. We do it because of the need of the kid and trying to support them. So what is the reason why you're doing what you're doing? See, what is your why? Is your why to be able to get out of financial debt, to get in a better situation, to be able to retire your parents or give back or put your kids through college? Whatever that why is, you need to explain that why to your family members so they understand your purpose behind what you're doing. Okay. Because if you're just chasing money or you're just trying to chase a sale, it's not going to happen. You have to have a purpose, and money will chase you in regards. But the Girl Scout cookies, the people who are raising money for the chocolate, we know what their purpose is. So they're not selling us. They're not telling us how awesome the cookies are, the chocolates. So that's why we feel obligated to buy. See, you're trying to sell why you have the best nutrition or the best product or the best whatever. Mm-hmm. And they're not buying this because they feel like they're getting sold. So go back to, hey, I found a way to make some extra income to be able to help my family out, my parents out, or to put my kids through private school. I was going to see if you could help me out and do me a huge favor and maybe take a look at my website and maybe support me. It mean the world to me, and this would really change my life dramatically. Could you do that for me? How differently does that sound than you just like, oh my gosh, I got this amazing hemp product, or I got this amazing nutrition or weight loss. You should try it. You should take it. You should do it.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, they feel like you're shoving it down their throat then. This way they're coming to their own decision about.
absolutely. Absolutely. And so then it's more, they feel more obligated to try out the product because now I'm giving them the reason why I'm doing this business and why I decided to partner up with this company. So it's not what you say, it's how you say it. It's the way you approach it. With my family, they've all tried it. Some stayed on it, some didn't, but I respected the fact that they actually tried it. That was all that I needed from them, is at least try out the product. And if you don't like it, great, that's okay. But if you do, it would mean the world to me. You keep trying it and support me in this cause.
And there's going to be a whole bunch of new products coming out next weekend. We hear about too, so that's kind of exciting too.
Yeah, actually, yeah. So it's exciting times. Exciting times.
Yes, it is. It's kind of like almost talking to your teenager. One thing, the way you say something to one teenager works like a charm, and if you try that on the other one, they're looking at you like you got three heads. Like, what are you talking about, Mom? Right?
That's so true.
Kind of like talking to your friends or the rest of your family the same way. What will work and what won't work. So.
Absolutely.
Well, I sure appreciate all of your valuable information that you have shared with us today, and I will be sure to pass on this information to whoever else might benefit from it. And we'll see you probably next weekend on the live.
Absolutely, you will.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Brandon. Thank you for everyone that tuned in today, and anybody coming in on the replay, do let me know that you're coming in on the replay, and we will give you a shout out after the fact. Thank you, Brandon.
No problem.
Bye-bye for now.